Hi everyone, this is Saurabh Samar, your registered migration agent with Global Vision Migration. So today we are doing a live seminar with MelbourneMAMA as well as with Xcel Global Services. And we will be discussing about the recent migration updates such as Western Australia state nomination, Victoria state nomination, which actually opened yesterday. So we'll have a quick chat in regards to that as well. Along with us, we have Ankur Saini from Global Vision Migration as well. Melbourne, and we will be discussing, we'll having a short discussion in regards to the recent updates in regards to migration today. Welcome, Ankur.
Thank you very, very much, Saurabh. Well, today we try to actually swap
Our roles.
our roles, and I thought, let me just give this opportunity to Saurabh to start the session. But I feel like that he was too exuberant and he was too excited. That's how he actually started the session. And thank you very, very much to MelbourneMAMA and Xcel Global for organizing this session. We've got our registered migration agent, Mr. Saurabh Samar, with us. He already introduced himself a while ago. And we are going to talk about Western Australia state nomination today.
Okay, so and a message to all our viewers, this is for information, education purpose only. And in regards to your own personal individual circumstance, sometimes this advice might not work, or I would request you to take personal or professional advice. Talk to your registered migration agent, and then they might be able to assist you with your permanent residency pathway if that's what you are seeking. And yeah, and feel free to ask us any question during this webinar as well. We are more than happy to answer generalized question. We won't go further into individual circumstances, but we will just answer the questions based on whatever the relevant scenario is.
And however, we are going to take few of the occupations through which we are going to present you that how to understand the requirements. Just for an example, say suppose I'm an accountant.
Yep.
Right. I've been living in this country from almost 3 years and struggling here and there. But I need to know that, yes, the Western Australia is open. Saurabh, what are my options as an accountant in Western Australia?
Perfect. So as a lot of people, there's a news going around, Western Australia, what should we do, etc. So WA is currently open, as you all know, and people with certain occupation skills could apply for the state nomination as well without being living in Western Australia. So there is one thing people need to understand there as well. Obviously, most popular occupations such as accountants, engineers, ICT, as well as pastry cooks, they are also available.
Chef.
Yeah, they are also available in those occupation lists as well. And some occupations, the one that are not available, they are in their Schedule 1 list. What does it mean for you is that if your occupation is Schedule 1 list, you need to have at least 3 years of overseas work experience or 1 year of Australian work experience to claim 5 points. Plus, you would also importantly need a job offer at the time of nomination. So how WA going to work is they would actually going to send you a pre-invitation and give you 14 days to apply for the nomination. And in that 14-day period, you will need to get a job offer, apply for the state nomination, and the job offer must be full-time for at least 1 year of work, 1 year of employment at the time of nomination application. So this is the basic criteria. And if you are a professional or a ENSCO skill level 1 or 2 occupation, you will need to have at least 7 each. Otherwise, if you are a trades occupation, if you are a trades occupation, obviously technician, you can get 6 each as well. But the higher the points, the more is your chances of getting invitation as well. As you know, WA only has very limited number of nomination places. So obviously they would give people to the highest possible ranks. And most importantly, 491, where you would extra get 15 points from the state. So that is important as well. Take that into consideration as well, because WA has 3 different options: graduate, general, and in the general they have Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. Okay. So what does it mean for you is that you could only apply for the state nomination, say, for example, if you are a graduate or if you are living somewhere else as well. Every occupation is different in those lists as well. So these are the things. And if Western Australia only have 1,100 places available for 190, then they might even divide that according to their programs. So there's going to be a good competition, I would say.
Now, I would like to ask, the example which I gave earlier, right? I'm going to extend it in further way that, okay, you need a job offer for about 12 months, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
For a year. So that job offer is required at the time of your expression of interest or at the time of you'll be receiving the invitation.
Yeah, so this is also a lot of confusion out there. People think that they need a job offer at the time of expression of interest, but that's not right. You need a job offer once you apply for the nomination, and you don't know when Western Australia will invite you. They might take a month or 2 months or 3 months to invite you. So getting a job offer right now is not an ideal way. You need a job offer once they do actually contact you and say that, all right, congratulations, you've been invited. You got 14 days to apply for the nomination, and in that 14-day period, you will need a job offer.
Beautiful. Thank you very, very much. You actually answered the questions, and the way you elaborated the requirements, I think, is fairly easy for our viewers to understand.
Exactly. So that's the thing. If you guys, an advice to our viewers as well, check your eligibility. And a lot of people say that whether they need a skill assessment or not. Obviously, you need a skill assessment in order for you to apply for any general skill migration. There is a gateway or a pathway to any GSM visas. If you don't have a skill assessment, you cannot apply. And a lot of people think that they can apply without having a skill assessment. It's a point-tested visas. For every point-tested or general skill migration, skill assessment is mandatory. It's a pathway, it's a gateway. If you don't have a skill assessment, you're not eligible at all.
So what about the say suppose for an example, there is a couple who's living here in Australia from almost 6 or 8 years. They are still struggling for their permanent residency pathway. The main applicant, say suppose the wife, right? She's pursuing or already done the accounting degree, now again hopping from 485 to student visa, but the husband is working in a trade occupation from almost 6 years, but not having the skills assessment.
Exactly. So we do come across situations like this where husband is working in a different occupation, such as working as a glazier, working as a stonemason, bricklayer, those occupations, and does not know that they could be eligible for employer nomination scheme as well. So there's a lot of employer sponsored visa options for those people if you have six years of full-time work experience in Australia, because people who come as a dependent, their wife got full-time, their wife is studying masters, they get full working rights, they work full-time, whether they're doing carpentry or etc. And then they could also be eligible to apply for employer nomination scheme as well. They don't know about that one yet. So we do have received so many employer nomination grants actually for people in this scenario. They came to us.
Exactly.
Yeah, they came to us to ask about themselves, about their general skill migration. And when we dig deep and ask more questions about their husband details, turn out to be their husband is actually eligible and their employer is willing to sponsor them. And they had 6 each. So we were able to actually successfully get them an employer sponsorship.
And this is what most of the viewers actually make a sort of mistake. So whenever they are going and visiting the industry colleagues, they always talk about the primary applicant, right?
Exactly.
They don't dig more into with regards to or with respect to the secondary applicant, because most of the times we've seen, and in our own company with under the supervision of Saurabh, we've seen that yes, we receive the miraculous results on the basis of the secondary applicant rather than the primary applicant.
Yeah. Even we have clients, even the primary applicant is a registered nurse. A lot of people nowadays are going to study nursing, master in nursing and all. So it's all going, it's not useful at all. I won't say that would be quite useful for those people down the track, because as you know, not every nurses are getting invitation at this point of time. Some nurses are actually not even able to get invitation at all. Even they have higher points as well. So the best course of action for you is don't just go and start doing courses, many courses, one by one. Look into the options, what you can do right now with your past experience, your experience overseas. You might be eligible for a different skill assessment, and that occupation might be in high demand in some states. For couples, Canberra is a very good option. What I would say is, if you are a couple out there, give us a call. Call me, and I'll probably be able to assist you with Canberra state nomination. Canberra is very good for couples. And a lot of people don't even know that. And there are so many different varieties that you can go with. They have such a good critical list, and that has a variety of occupation, program administrator, even community workers as well. They are actually open in that occupation too.
There is a saying with regards to Canberra state that if you are in Canberra or if you are thinking about Canberra, right, you'll never be empty-handed.
Exactly. So that is the thing. A lot of people don't know. They just want to study master in nursing because nursing is very important. It's not the case. Even though if you study master of nursing, you're gonna be sitting at 75 to 80 points. Maybe your partner didn't get 6 seats or skill assessment. What's the point? You
So-
might not be able to get a skill assessment. You might not be able to get a job in that sector.
Exactly.
So that is important. People don't understand that after finishing nursing, then what? Once you finish, okay, it's good to do master of nursing. You do it, you finish it. 2 years later, you finish your studies. Now there is a vaccination available as well. Pretty much, almost 30% of the country is vaccinated. By the time in 2 years, 100% will be vaccinated. COVID-19 might not be exist anymore. Then what's they might not even need that much nurses anymore. That's the thing, because that's what happened in New South Wales last financial year. They introduced so many registered nurses in their list, and then a lot of RDA complained. It's like, we don't need those many nurses. We need engineers, IT people, and then they added them into the list.
And that is the only reason that Victoria actually come up with a very, very unique sort of different requirements. They are looking for skilled people, those who are in the STEM
skills. So so Victoria, very good opportunity for people who are currently having STEM qualification or STEM skill, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine. A lot of people think M stands for management. So management does not fall under STEM skills. And I also doubt whether commerce and business studies would fall under that as well. So be very careful. And Victoria has clearly said that, if you are a software developer working in a health sector, medical research, you could be eligible. So look into your options. You might be eligible for skill migration, etc. And we can actually look into those options as well.
So what about the other states? Like we already talked about Victoria. The last session was on Victoria. Today, you simplified the requirements of Western Australia. What about South Australia? Just for example.
South Australia problem is that they're currently closed. So their occupation list is not out, and then we are waiting to hear back for them. And previously, what their requirement was 6 to 12 months of work experience, pretty much for every occupation, unless you are a South Australian graduate with a higher GPA. Those are the things that they are actually after.
After seeing the points table, that okay, most of the occupations are sitting at 90, 95 points, and the places which are actually available for 189, 190, and 491 visas, what is the best advice you would like to actually give to our viewers, understanding that yes, they are actually working in their own nominated occupation in Australia?
Okay, so if you are working in your nominated occupation in regardless of whether it is, I would say see that occupation. A lot of people, if you're working as a chef in Victoria currently, you might not be eligible for state nomination. So probably you might be wasting your time. Best course of action will be look for other options. Go to a different state. Some states like Canberra requires only 3 months of work experience, and they will give you 491. Yes. And there is also only 20 hours per week experience. Part-time is acceptable. And a very pro tip for everyone. For Canberra, you don't actually have to work in your own field.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't know. And there are other tips available as well, which we will discuss maybe next session. And, think about that as well. So, for example, if you are a cook, chef, or a tradesperson working in Victoria, thinking that you will get nomination, but currently, Victoria requirement is STEM skills. That is tough. So it's going to be hard for you to get those skills, to use that skills in a 7 target sector. That is important as well. If you are having those skills, but you're not working in the 7 target sectors, then it's going to be difficult for you to obtain a successful nomination. Those 7 target sectors are health, medical research, life sciences, digital, and then new emissions, circular economy, and a digital life. So those are the ones that are actually eligible. And then if you are not working in those 7 target sectors, it's going to be difficult for you to even receive a nomination from Victoria.
So if it's actually difficult at this stage when we are comparing all the states, yes, no doubt Victoria is difficult. So the best advice is to seek the other options, which is like the further states, right? And even if not any of the state is trying to get you the invitation, then employer nomination visa is the.
Exactly. So employer nomination is a very good option. As you know, there are 22,000 places available for employer nomination scheme. And there is only 6,000 places available for 189 in the new financial year. And as you know, 189 and 491 family sponsored, there's only going to be 4 invitation round in one financial year. What does it mean for you is it's going to be difficult for you to even get the nomination. And I would say if someone's working in this sector, they'll probably be able to get a look for employer sponsored visas, such as 186. If you have 3 years of work experience, 6 each, and a skill assessment, you could be eligible for 186
or 482.
or a 482. 482 is a pathway. So if you do get a 482 visa, then you could be eligible down the track for 186 or even 494 if you are living or working in a regional area.
So the people also, the like applicants, those who are in Victoria and holding STEM qualifications, they are even eligible for not only for Victoria 190 or 491, but they can even go for GTI visa as well.
Yeah, so there is a global talent option available too, which is actually they still have 15,000 places available for the new financial year as well. So if you are working in those target sectors such as advanced ICT, data scientists and all, and you have the capability of meeting up to 153,900 plus income for the financial year, gross income, you could be eligible for global talent visa. Or if you have recently finished your PhD or about to finish your PhD in the next 6 months, then also you are eligible for that visa as well. So seek professional advice. You don't know how many visas you could be eligible for. So it's best to contact your nearest migration agent, or you can give us a call. You can look me up, and then we can assist you further. You can call on the number for Xcel Global Australia, which is 0415060000.
Yeah. So we request you, if you are looking for any further information with regards to any of the state or with regards to global talent visa, employer nomination visa, contact MelbourneMAMA or Xcel Global Australia. And then, yes, Saurabh is always there through them to help you out.
Perfect. So let's answer questions now. So we got a question from Vikas.
We've got Vikas Perry. What if someone has got a job in Perth as a software engineer, which is an occupation in Schedule 2?
Mm-hmm.
And he has been working from the past 2 months already.
So what they're saying is when you got a nomination, when you got a pre-invite and the name of nomination, you must have at least 12 months remaining. So you need to ask your employer if they can give you a extended extended job offer. If that can be worked, then yeah, you should be fine.
So now there is actually a question as well, that job offer or the contract.
Okay, so obviously job offer is a letter of offer and an employment contract. You need to show that the employment contract is actually for full time. So it's kind of a same thing, employment offer or a job offer or an employment contract, kind of, not completely
executed.
Exactly. So a duly signed job offer is an employment contract.
We've got the question from Santosh Srinivas. What are the current occupations available for masters in cybersecurity apart from ICT security specialist?
So Santosh, as you know, the ICT security specialist is an ENSCO occupation, but however, you could also be working for, in a different kind of, say, a software engineer could be working in a cybersecurity sector as well, of a big university, big bank, taking care of the cybersecurity needs, etc. So this is a very vast question, because a lot of IT occupations, they overlap with each other. There is another thing that how you can do.
There is another question from Surinder Bhular. Will they prioritize WA graduates?
Obviously they should, as you know, but graduate list is not too broad. So they might prioritize WA graduates. Obviously, there is less requirement. You have got some exemptions for WA graduates. But if they don't get good skilled workers from WA graduates, obviously they will start nominating people from outside.
Mohammed Hi, Mohammed. When we will be
NSW.
the NSW release the occupation list? We
So
don't know.
we don't know actually. They said in next 2 to 3 weeks time. So hopefully, stay tuned. We probably be once the list is out. We're going to do a new live webinar, and we will provide you updated information in regards to that as well.
Because most of the states, like, they've opened up. Most of the states, like,
Yeah,
have actually
the best state,
closed.
Canberra, opened up, and on the very first day, 1st of July, did
Yeah.
their invitations as well.
So as said that Canberra is one of the state. If you are in there, or if you are thinking of, you'll never ever be empty-handed. If not 190, 491 is surely
So
going to be yours.
Santosh is asking, what is the capacity of invitations for ICT? There is no such thing where they would. There is no such thing like how many nominations is available for ICT security specialist. It's a non-provider occupation. Used to have good opportunity to get 189, but that is long gone. So let's hope from this financial year onwards, the things go back to normal, and IT we will start getting 189 invitations as well as 491 family sponsored. I think that's pretty much all. We have already covered various state nominations as well. So we will be doing this another live session tomorrow where we'll discuss Western Australia, Victoria, and other employer nomination options as well. So if you guys have missed out today, feel free to give us join us tomorrow as well. We will be available at the same time, 5 p.m. Friday, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for a rapid fire round.
Thanks.